Review It TV viewers, welcome back. And if you're new to the channel, welcome as well. We're doing another video in the segment of UTV videos regarding the Maverick X3 that we've been filming. We just picked this unit up, so if you haven't seen any of the previous videos and you're just tuning in, then you can get a good overall look. This is the 4-seater Maverick X3 Max. We just got it, pretty new, about 3 weeks old maybe. We haven't even really used it. We took it down the road once when we got it, just to make sure everything was functioning right, so we didn't have to contact the dealer if there was any issues. So we are doing all the accessories that we've ordered. We have them all in. We're doing different videos. If you haven't seen the light bar video and you're interested in doing a light bar, check that out on the channel. I'll put a link below in the comment box so you guys can see how that was done. And if you are gonna watch this video and you're wanting to see how to wire stuff, you can check out the light bar video as well. It'll show you how to remove the seats and the panels. I'm not gonna show you that in every video because it was already done and I've kind of left everything unbolted anyway, so we could get right into it for the next segment. So with that being said, we'll be back to you guys in just a second. We're gonna show you what you'll need and what we're using today with the whip light. All right guys, come check it out. This is what we're gonna use today regarding the whip lights, and then we have a few little harnesses and some of the tools that we'll use while we're doing the install. So if you wanna come up here and check this out a little bit closer, there's two ways of wiring these whip lights when you do it. You can wire it straight to the battery that has the ignition port. It's in the center of the console, and then this will be automatically turned off whether you forget or not once you turn off the ignition on the UTV. But the best way I would think to do this is what I found is to use these harnesses. These pigtails you can purchase on Amazon, and they come with the little connectors on it, some zip ties. And basically all you're doing to power your whip lights is you're gonna unplug the light going into the tail light of your unit. You'll plug this in, re-plug in your tail light, and then it splices off to the pigtail so you can wire it directly to the wiring here. Which makes it great because the tail lights are only powered when the vehicle's on. If you turn it off, then the power cuts out. So these won't stay on and drain your battery if you accidentally forget to turn them off. And if you do, you must be colorblind because they'd be lit up apparently. So anyway, back to what we're talking about regarding these lights. They each come with a remote. I'm hoping, because I didn't buy this in a two set, I bought them single-handedly from the same seller. I'm hoping these are on the same channel as far as these two whip lights. So when I go to use one remote, it'll automatically control both of them at once. If not, then I think I'm gonna have to just use two different remotes, which I'll probably change that out later with a different set. But for now, these will work. So in just a moment, we're gonna start the install and we'll show you what we're talking about as far as where these pigtails will go. And then we'll show you on the unit where we're gonna mount these lights. I went with the 4 feet lights because I don't like the lights sticking up like 17 feet. I don't want people from the other side of the forest to know I'm coming that bad. I mean, I want people to know I'm there, but I don't want to be too loud about it. But so I chose the 4-footers. These are the LED strips inside. Has different functions, and it can play to your music and yada yada yada. You just have to look at all the different things. It comes with flags. There's a yellow flag that represents the company's logo that sells these, so you can leave it at that, or it comes with American flag, or if you have a different flag that's this smaller size, you can put your own flags on it. So we'll see you guys in just a second when we start the project. Okay guys, so we're gonna start the install. We're gonna go to the bracket that's already drilled into this roll bar. It comes like that, standard on this particular unit. With this particular roof though, it's like, I think it was called the Bahimi roof. It's made by Can-Man. It covers over the area where we need to mount the whip lights. So they were smart enough to stitch an area in here and then put some little lines around here to form a circle to show you right where you need to cut out a little bit of a circle. And it won't fray past this stitching if it ever does, so it doesn't ruin the rest of your roof. So I can get the whip lights, and it's done on both sides of this, this roof, this little canvas area. So we're gonna go ahead and take a pair of scissors and we're gonna get a little blade and we're gonna just slit a little hole on these lines that are already dotted on the top to show where to cut. And I'll make a slit and start cutting it out, and then from there we'll get the roof bracket that goes to the whip light ready. So see, you can just do that, make a little slit like that. Make sure you put your razor back the way it should be so it doesn't cut you. Then you can just stick your scissors right in there like this, and then just make a nice little circle. It ain't gonna be perfect, but you know what I mean? It'll work. So you get it just on the lines, and you should more or less have a decent looking circle if you're worried about cosmetic look. Perfect. And see, right here, you can see the hole which the whip light will mount. It'll come down, you'll put the nut on the bottom, then you'll run your wiring down through this area of the roll bar under this panel, which you'll be able to reach and see it all, so you don't have to take any of the panels off to get to it. And to actually get the pigtail extension added to the back of the taillight, it's just right in. We'll give you a quick shot of that in just a second to show you what it looks like. All right guys, so what we're gonna do is install this whip light. Pretty easy thing. It has the remote control box right here, has some little slots on either side of it so you can zip tie it up there under the panel somewhere. Just make sure you roll up your cable like so, and then I would put it something like this and then put a zip tie all around it to hold it, because it's not going to have to go that far. You figure from right here where this mounts down to the tail light, which is right here, you have all this extra slack. So you'll have plenty of slack. If you decide you want to buy these, I'll have the link for these whip lights down in the comment box below. If you click on that Amazon link to buy these, it helps the channel with revenue. So that would be nice if you were cool to do that, if you decide to buy them. But anyway, these are quick disconnect. So it's kind of like it's almost like a fitting on your air compressor. You just pull it back and then these come out, your light comes off. So if you don't want to keep these lights on all the time, or for some reason like us, if you look how close this is to hitting the roof, I've got like maybe an inch to a half an inch space. So you can take these off and just put them on the back of your unit like so, and leave them there till you pull your unit out next time, and they just pop right into place like this. They'll go on and you pull the little fitting up, locks into place, and bam, that's it. So I'm not sure how great these are. They seem to be pretty durable. They look nice. They have a nice light strip in it, but we'll check it out. So we'll go ahead and pop that off and put that to the side for a second next to the pigtail, which we'll be using here in a minute. And then what you're gonna do is if you look here, the holes I had to cut the top of this piece of the roof out. Here's the mounting hole right there that already comes ready to go. So what you're gonna have to do is unconnect this cable right here, and that'll come apart, and then you can pull this apart and just put the rest of this cable over to the side. Now you can go ahead and just pop this guy through and then you bolt it in. So you have a lock washer and a standard washer and a nut on this. So the nut and the lock washer are gonna go on the bottom of this, and the regular washer and this piece will go on the top. So you're just gonna fit that right through the hole like so. And let me see where I wanna run it. Yeah, right down here. And I'll show you guys what it looks like on the bottom in just a sec. But that'll sit just like that with a washer. And then you're gonna put your lock washer next and your nut last. We'll get back to you in just a second once I get this attached, because I know it's kind of boring waiting for me to get this nut on. So we'll see you in a second. Okay guys, so we went ahead and got the bottom part of the whip light mount installed on top of the roll bar here. And it clicks into place with an easy disconnect. So we've already showed you that. Now I want you to take a look under here. As you can see, there's just a hole that comes right out through, and that's where you're gonna stick your nut, is through the top of this plate here. You can reach in with your fingers, and you can also get a ratchet wrench and tighten it up. And then your wire is gonna come down. This is the rest of your harness right here. So this wire will essentially just connect right here to this. And then we're gonna run it down through this area right here. So it'll actually go down the roll bar. And then it's going to come around this way, and I'll show you this side. So once you come down against the roll bar, you're gonna see it's gonna come beside this roll bar here. So you're gonna wanna just go ahead and use some zip ties. And then it'll just hang anywhere under here, as you can see. Under the bottom, here's your roll bar, and your actual plugs to your pigtails are right there. So you can run it and zip tie it anywhere to this or to this to get it over to that area. So however you want to do it, there's no particular way, as long as you get the wire to where it needs to connect. I try to always do mine a little bit cleaner of a job so it doesn't look like there's so many wires everywhere, but that's up to you guys. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is run it just like we showed you how to do it. Once we get it ran and we get ready to install the pigtail, we'll come back to you. Okay guys, so we went ahead and got the wire wired down here under the area where the tail light connection is. You can see that Can-Am thought of everything. They put these little slits on the bottom of this fender so you can zip tie wires, and that's exactly what we did, is we zip tied this wire real clean on the inside of this to protect the wire. I was thinking about mounting this guy maybe right about here. That way I can just run this right up to this tail light. So if you look at this tail light, what I was telling you is you gotta unplug that. It has a little clip right here that you pull up on just a little bit, it goes up, and then you pull the tail light out. So the pigtail, which is this guy, is actually just going to plug right into there, into where this tail light switch went, in like that, and then this will plug into that. That's gonna give us the connection that we need in order to splice in right here to your whip light. So let me get this one on first. I get that out of the way a little bit. And this should go right in here. Oh, not clicking into place, so I gotta, there it goes. So you gotta push kind of hard. So then you have this right here, and this guy's gonna connect into your tail light. And then what we can do is just zip tie that up a little bit up in this area, so it doesn't put too much stress on the light itself. And then we have the pigtail sticking down. That's where we're gonna connect this. And don't pay attention to your yellow wire. It's just gonna be hot and ground. And it comes with the connectors in the bag right here. So we're gonna connect those correctly and use some heat shrink to put over the connectors to stop any moisture from getting in and causing an electrical shortage. We'll be right back once we get this started. All right, everyone, so we've gotten the harness ran from the whip light up there down below the roll bar under this panel, and then it comes out right here. And then here's the pigtail that we went ahead and connected into the back of the tail light. So now what we're gonna do is, I would suggest you guys pick up a container of these. These are called heat wraps. They come in all different sizes. They're really inexpensive on Amazon. You can get them for like $5 to $10 for a whole box. And then you'll just use your heat gun. What'll essentially happen is you're going to get a wire that you want to connect first, such as this black one. You're gonna put your heat wrap over it first. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your crimp and your tool and stick your wire down up in there, right? Now, what we'll do, once we get that on, is we'll crimp it down. Just a little bit like so. And that'll hold the crimp onto the wire. Then you're gonna get your other black wire, which is this one, and you'll put it back through this hole over here into your fitting, or your connector I should say, just like so. And if your wire's too long, when you go to put it into the connector, trim it down just a little. You don't want it sticking out. It's like that. Retwist it, then come back and stick it into that hole, just like so, and bam. Then you can just take your crimper and crimp down that side as well. And this little crimper works really good. You should pick up one of these crimpers if you don't have one. They're pretty much everywhere. Walmart, AutoZone, O'Reilly's, wherever you shop. So you can see now that the first black wire is done. So essentially what happens is this heat wrap will slide over this now, just like so, about like so. And then what we'll do is we'll use the heat gun to heat it up, and it'll shrink and seal around the wire, helping to prevent moisture and water from getting in there and causing a short. So we'll do the same thing with this wire. Go ahead and let me trim this right away, because I can see that these wires on the power are going to be a little bit longer than I want. Trim that off. Make sure you twist it back again after you trim it so it fits inside your connector really easily. Don't forget to put your heat shrink on first, because if you put your connect on, there's no way but to cut it off and redo it. So get your heat shrink on first. Make sure it's nice and twisted. And it's gonna go right into that little hole, just like that. And then you just use your crimper. And that's what the top part is. It doesn't cut, it just crimps. Now, make sure that got in there good. Looks like it did. All right, I'll crimp it one more time, a little bit more. And don't crimp it so hard that you actually tear through the connector plastic, because that helps to seal the water out too. And then do your other side just like so. Get your connector in there and just give it a good little crimp. And then give it one more little crimp a little bit further down, just to make sure you got that wire really good. And then now I'll slide my second heat shrink over. And then what we'll do is we'll get the heat gun, which I have over here ready to go. Real inexpensive. You can get these guys on Amazon. I'll put links in the bottom of the comments box at the end of the video. You guys can look at that comment box at any point in time so you can see which items they sell on Amazon. You'll be able to pick them up for really cheap. So just gonna turn on your heat gun, and literally you're just gonna go back and forth and heat these up. You can see them shrink right before your eyes. Look at them. They're wrinkling up. Go back and forth little by little. Pick it up, do the bottom one too. Just go back and forth though. Don't get too close. You don't want to like torch everything. But you do want these, and you can pinch them down a little bit and then finish shrinking them like that. Let's get them really good. Go up and down on the bottom. Just like that. You can see they shrink down on this side too. There we go. Now look, they've shrunken down around the ends like that to help keep that water out of there. Once you get them down to where you feel comfortable around the wire ends, then I would suggest just cutting this extra wire off, or you can leave it, doesn't matter, it's not bare. Alright, that's good. Now all we're gonna do is just take the rest of this slack and then wire it up in here, and this first one's done. As you can see, I've already went ahead and mounted both of the whip lights. I'm not gonna show you how to wire this side because it's exactly the way we just did that side. So just duplicate it onto your second whip light, if you have a second whip light. Some people in like one, I think they look better with two. Unless you're on ATV, then you probably only have one. So same thing, running your wire down through here, putting your little pigtail on, and then connecting it like we just showed you. We'll get back to you in just a second. All right guys, we're down to the final moment. We got the whip lights installed. As you can see, they both look really nice. And there's alternatives to flags if you want to put something different. They went in really smooth. I showed you guys how to wire them. I showed you where you can use the pigtails versus having to try to wire them all the way into the port that would be the power port that's inside the center of the console. You can also put in a rocker switch on these guys if you would like. When you do the rocker switch, then you can just turn the rocker switch off and it'll cut power to them regardless. But if you do it through the taillights, they turn off when the ignition shuts down, so there's no power to it anyway. So let's check it out. And as you can see, there's different modes. You can switch them on and off between each other like that. You can change them to like a demo mode, which does all kinds of different flashings. So they look really nice. I'm not going to get into detail with all the different functions. They're pretty self-explanatory like most of these items that I've showed you guys. There's two remotes like I said. I did find that with the way I set it up, because I didn't buy the two-way system that comes with two of them in a pack, I bought two of the single whip lights. If I go to turn it off, if I don't have them on the same function when I go to turn them off, sometimes it'll keep them one on and then one off. But other than that, they work great. So there's on, you can change all the functions, there's off, using one remote. So it worked out to our advantage. I did want to mention a couple other things. We're going to be doing some more upcoming videos. Our next video that we're going to do is we actually have some bags to show you guys. And you can see all the goodies we have down here. We've got the bag set that goes to the door, the Kimai Moto. We're also going to do a video and show you guys about these Evolution Power Badass belts that they use. Another cool thing we got coming is the tool, and actually this tool is for doing your belts. You want to make sure if you didn't get one with your unit that you get one on Amazon. All of this was bought on Amazon, so I'm gonna put links in all the descriptions of each video that we do with each one of these different items. So if you're interested in buying them, you can purchase them. But our next video is going to be the stereo system. We will be doing a Bluetooth GoHawk stereo system. Comes with 4 speakers. It's a 600 amp with a installed amplifier built in, I guess I should say. And these actually light up. These light up and they'll actually match your whip lights. And they're supposed to be pretty decent. So they're not going to be your Rockford Fosgate sound system, your Series 5 or Level 5, whatever they call that, for $5,000 or $6,000. But this is actually a reasonable system that's pretty loud, I hear. Got some good reviews. If you're interested in these whip lights and you want to know about the pigtails that come, they don't come with them actually, but if you're interested in getting the pigtails too, because you're going to wire them to your taillights, I'll put the links for Amazon in the description. As I mentioned earlier, we're part of the Amazon affiliate program, so any type of purchases you make through the Amazon links that we have in the comment box helps our channel with revenue. So I appreciate that. If you do decide to buy it, you use our link. Other than that, if you're interested in seeing future videos in our channel, subscribe. Subscribe button's right below, quick and easy, painless. And keep up with us. We're going to be doing a lot of videos on this UTV right now on the channel. And we're also going to be doing some performance upgrades later on after all the accessories are done. Other than that, I appreciate you guys watching today, and we'll see you guys in the next video.